NASCAR is back and there are bets to be made. What's up, everybody? Alan Cavana back with Chris Wormy. We are back because the NASCAR Clash at the Coliseum is this weekend. How you feeling, Chris?
I'm so excited. The Clash last year was my best race of the season from a financial standpoint. Even though it can be unpredictable at times, there's still money to be made.
And Chris, let's start big picture. This isn't like stick and ball sports where it's one team or the other, Chris. So when you're talking NASCAR and trying to place a win bet, it's one team versus the entire Cup garage. Where do you even start in your thinking, your process?
I think it's really important to look at track history. Looking back at track history, we've only been here twice. It is important to take into account both of those races, but more importantly, who are the guys that were really consistent in both races?
One more big picture question, Chris. Do you ever make more than one win bet? At some point, you're betting against yourself, but you're also improving your odds. Do you make more than one win bet?
Yes. Most races I will make more than one win bet. It is kind of crazy to once you make that second win bet, you have officially made your first losing bet because two drivers can't win a race. However, I think it's important to understand the progression of how odds change throughout the week. Once we see these cars on track, odds are going to move. At this point in the week, it's important to find value. I like to focus on guys that are higher than 20, 30, 40 to 1. I think that that's where you can find the value at this point in the week because you're going to be locked in on that price. I have made one bet to win this race so far, and that's Bubba Wallace. He opened at 40 to 1. He's down to 28 to 1 right now. I do think that Bubba at 28 to 1 is a good price, mainly because I think he'll qualify well. And I think he'll start kind of in that top 3 to 5 and maybe even pull it. And if that happens, you're going to see his odds go off at, 10 to 15 to 1. I don't see his odds getting raised at all. So I think that we kind of enter the market at the best price. And right now, 28 to 1, I think is a pretty good number.
It's all about that value right now. I like to go with a favorite and a long shot. And they both just happen to be with Richard Childress Racing. Kyle Busch, he's 9 to 1 right now, plus 900. We talk about history at this track. He's finished in the top 3 both times. But most importantly, what his performance told me last year is that he can work his way through the field. Kyle Busch was one of the only drivers able to do that. If he gets a better starting spot or can get out front, he may be able to just take it and get that checkered flag. Now, his teammate, Austin Dillon, he is sitting right now at plus 3,000. 30 to 1. The only 2 years we've raced the Clash at the Coliseum, he has finished in the top 3. Austin Dillon has proved he's capable of winning this race at plus 3,000. That sounds great to me, Chris.
I think that you're spot on. To kind of piggyback your Kyle Busch, his comments after the race said, I was really good, but I was not as good as my teammate. For Kyle Busch to drive all the way from the tail end of the field, all the way back up to the top 5 was pretty impressive. And then for him to turn to Austin Dillon and say he was better than me all weekend is really impressive. I look for both of those cars to be really strong. I think that the best value out of those two is Austin Dillon, but certainly Kyle Busch could go out there. If he ever saw the front last year, I don't know that he gets past. I would agree that RCR is going to be really strong at the Clash this year.
The NASCAR season is here. Good luck. Play responsibly. Join us back here next week as we look at the Daytona 500.